We have Palace here.
Hi
Welcome
everyone.
back. I heard there's another great, incredible project coming up,
Yep,
and
yep.
let's hear it.
Presenting a different project today.
Perfect.
Um, okay. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a builder in the Web3 space, and I'm going to be presenting this project called Semicolon Fingers. And just going to share screen.
Yeah, you don't need to rush it out. You can present yourself more in an informative way for the judges who doesn't know you to get in touch about yourself and your ideas. And then you have 12 minutes for your presentation. Okay, Palace?
Okay. Oh, I
Okay.
thought only five. Okay, 12 is great. Um, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm a builder in the Web3 space, and I like exploring innovative uses of crypto. I really think it's like, uh, what's possible with crypto is groundbreaking. And with that, let me introduce you to Semicolon Fingers, which is a project that is aimed at addressing the global loneliness epidemic. So, if we go over the problems in short, which is what this project is in response to, we are the most connected generation in terms of devices and social networks and everything, but we are very deeply disconnected, unfortunately. So much so that like the World Health Organization recently said that that loneliness is a growing epidemic, and it contributes to at least 800,000 deaths yearly. Additionally, online personas are profoundly manufactured. There's this whole concept of Rinsta and Finsta, which is real Insta and fake Insta, where the real Insta is held private while fake Insta is for the world to see. Uh, Part of the reason for this manufacturing is also because anonymity is quickly becoming a thing of the past, which is a serious concern, especially as stuff is being adopted in Europe and Australia, and I'm presuming slowly in the US as well. Uh, then another problem that this is trying to address is that the killer apps for blockchains are primarily financial or more recently like very very degenerate, which I personally have like a huge problem with, and I wonder if it has to be this way, and obviously I don't think so. So um, coming to Semicolon Fingers, the crux of this project is this emotion wheel or wheel of emotions. This was a wheel that was described by a psychologist, Robert Plutchik, in the 1980s. And he basically said that emotions are fluid, much like a color wheel. So these color mappings are not strict, but the idea that they are fluid and they can blend into each other is strict, or is the core idea behind it. So, in response to does it have to be this way? It definitely does not. Um, you can design a platform which begins with stories that maps to emotions and that which maps to colors. This can enable something like intentional discovery via colors as opposed to algorithmic infinite scrolls. You can connect to people via stories and experiences and not PR campaigns. And the personas are per address because it's blockchain based. They're unique, and they're doxing resistant. Of course, once the address is linked to the human, it is very hard to delink it, but there is resistance until that point is reached. Then an additional advantage of using blockchains is that mechanism design, which is inherent to tokenomics, is an immensely powerful thing. Token mining and what transactions mean can be redefined with app chains or application specific blockchains, especially as Ethereum works really hard to increase their scaling capacity. So if we go and take a quick look to the demo, the platform has two sides, a writing side and a reading side. On the writing side, a writer comes in and selects a color that they are most attracted to in that moment. So let's say it is yellow for now, and then they are provided with some prompts, and they select a prompt, and then they can write any story. And ideally, this is something deeply personal. And when they click next, they select a title, um, log in, or enter their name, and they can publish it to the network, which creates a smart contract. And that's all too technical for this presentation. At the end, they're also asked a relief score, which helps with the color mapping at the end. Now, on the reader side, which is the interesting part, a reader lands on a page which only shows you the title of the story, a little bit of the story, and a big shuffle button, which is inspired from Stumble Upon, a very cool website from about a decade ago. Um, the idea is that if this does not interest the reader, they can shuffle to another color or another story in this case, and they this is informed by their app metrics. So how much time did they spend on this, how did they click on this or not, etc, etc. And let's say they do end up liking this color and like this prompt or this initial part of the story, they can click and continue to read the story. This is the core of the platform. Coming back to the slides. Um, at its core, it has three modules: sentiment analysis, uh, reader journeys, and token mining. So coming to sentiment analysis first, it is designed as binary support vector machines based on the wheel of emotions, where each axis is a separate support vector machine, and the composite color is a result of the outputs from all of those machines. And it is also decentralized. So yeah, so story to emotion association is based on machine learning. The custom app chain, as I said before, helps you reimagine transactions, which allows you to move this heavy ML compute, which is the training of the SVMs, to the node level, because I am designing the app chain, so I control the nodes or the sequences. And the chain blocks can also contain a lot more data than just transaction information. They can actually form like an evolving data set. So readers are rewarded for providing data points, and this data points, which I did not show you in the demo because it's not really built right now, but periodically the readers can provide or are prompted with, what is your emotion right now? What do you think the emotion of this story or the color of this story is? And they're provided with like a slider where which they can submit, and that helps train the ML model based on the tokens they have encountered so far since their last data point update. Sequencers are also permitted to sell inference based on this data set, which is thanks to X402, which is a great framework standard for killing API keys or providing microtransactions for single API calls. Coming to reader journeys, the core idea behind this, or the reading platform in general, is the idea that we see the world not as it is, but as we are. So what that means is, if you are randomly walking on the color wheel and you land on a blue story, and that interests you and you continue reading, maybe there's some sadness in you right now. Or if you land on a red, there's some anger in you right now. So random walks on the color wheel. The reading journey is also collaborative, because as you click the tokens and click the shuffle buttons, or like click the words to expand the story and click the shuffle button, you are forming like a path on the color wheel, which can be minted as an NFT. And that is the exact use case for NFTs, which is digital art. And this is collaborative global art. If NFTs are not your style because it's 2021 and 2025 and not 2021, we can also create something like content coins, which are modeled after Zora's content coins. the main difference between the two is one is a ERC 721, so it's non-fungible, and the other one is a ERC 20, so it is fungible. And then stops along the journey provide insights, like I said. So if you stop at red, maybe you're feeling a little angry. The final module in this is mining connections, because we can redefine what mining means. Uh, in short, each click that the reader does or performs is considered to be a mining event, which creates new tokens for the author or the writer of the story. Um, and if a reader is aimlessly walking on the, or like clicking the shuffle button like 15 times versus 10 times before stopping, then the story that the reader stopped on after 15 clicks gets like a higher multiplier of this airdrop. And also, each airdrop is a signal, clear signal for the author that there is somebody out there who stopped at your experience, your story, and resonated with it so much so that they actually took the effort to click through the story and read it to whatever percentage they read. This is the key part where loneliness gets addressed, or at least that's the thesis. Messaging the author is also available to the reader, but it's within reason. The challenge here is I don't if I am expecting writers to write deeply personal stories, and because the world is not an ideal place, there are people who are going to be writing very let's say dark things, and you don't want to have unfettered access to that. Uh, while at the same time, I don't want to be sitting in the middle and moderating, because that beats trustlessness within blockchain. Plus, also, I am no moral authority. So the eventual thing is personal stories plus discovery by emotion is equals to a genuine connection, which is the um, meta math, let's say, that I am trying to perform with this project. Finally, I plan to release this in April of 2026. So if you guys want to join the waitlist, you can go to semicolonfingers.com. There's no space in the URL, but it's just visually better. And if you go to the artisan page once I publish it and you see the deck, this will be clickable. That's it.
Okay, Palash, thank you so much. Great project, great presentation. I
Thank
loved
you.
it even more. I didn't even thought that you could do so many good ideas, so many good insights. Thank you so much for being here. So
Glad
I'll
to-
move up the judges so we can have the Q&A now.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, please. Would be perfect.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah. I mean, your presentation was very nice. I think the use case, apart from the loneliness case that you provided, I think it can spiral out to many different application because it scores down the engagement part. It also scores down to the emotional output that it provides, right? But I was just trying to know that why would you just take loneliness, which is kind of a very broad spectrum in terms of putting your model into play, then pick up one simple targeted application, which I think this product is very promising to do that. So I was curious to know, why did you start with this?
So a few reasons. Firstly, I agree that a lot of downstream features are very possible, which I can also like go over quickly. But as to why start with loneliness, I think one was because it's like a very personal project, and like I really kind of wanted to. Uh, it's coming from like a personal thing, so that's why. And then the second reason is because if we look at the history of the internet, the first things that really propagated were personal blog posts, and they were just people sharing their experiences, their stories and stuff, and people found cool people and they bookmarked it or whatever. And I'm kind of trying to replicate that or lean into that for a new paradigm of the internet with Web3. And then the last reason is because um, this is like an urgent problem, and also it is something that people can really relate to or resonate with quickly, because the other parts of this project are pretty complex for like the average Joe, and I don't want them focusing on that part as much. Whereas I want them to focus on the loneliness part as well, more than the other one.
A valid point. But did
There's
you
one
had
more.
your revenue model of monetization?
there-
Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead.
there's one more reason actually. If you really look at like, so this also kind of leads into mental health crisis around the world as well. And if you really think about like the serious illnesses, uh, like two of the core issues are anxiety and depression. And if you boil it down further, then it boils down to kind of like you don't really have someone to talk to, and that's also why loneliness. And in terms of revenue model and stuff, um, yes. So so obviously at scale, but the plan right now is that evolving data set, while on the chain, it is going to be like a free inference. But I can imagine seeing like people requesting, because most sentiment analysis engines are a binary, like positive, negative, maybe a neutral as well. Whereas this is way more nuanced, and I can see the sequencers being able to sell inference the on like any customer review data or whatever, and generate money that way, which would inform the tokenomics. The second way is the NFTs that the collaborative art piece creates. That also is someplace where external money, or like that, where the network tokens can be valued.
Okay, just one more question.
Mhm.
There are other models available where you go to a psychiatrist or anywhere else where they give some sort of a scoring system, the sheeting, which gives the inferences of what their mental condition is or psychometric test that adds up to. Uh, what way your model matches or will benefit any of those use cases? Will it give any insights better than a psychometric analysis? Or this is just a model you wanted to try and use it in different places?
So I I don't think I want to venture into psychoanalysis at all. It is a motivation and not like a goal of the. I mean, it is a motivation for building the network, but not really let's say a metric or a KPI for the network. What this network will do, once, like, again, right, you have scale and a valuable data set, is once, like, say you come in and you write like a personal story, it gives you insights into, like, what this story is. And then there's another part to Robert Plutchik's research, which says that like anger is more like a aggressive thing, and then and like you, like the story right now is just like the whole story is colored, but you can tokenize it to part by part, and then you can see how the story progresses through the color wheel and see like, oh, you started with angry but you ended to sadness. So I guess the short answer for your question would be this would be an additional tool for the psychoanalysts to employ.
Okay, Polish. I think it's a good initiative. I'm curious to know how it'll specifically add up to any specific industry solutioning. That'll be interesting to know. But that's a
Depends
good.
on the industry as well, right? So
Yeah.
there'll be different kinds of things. And just briefly before we move on to the next question, next judge, the downstream features that I mentioned, right? So one that I'm thinking of is like you can kind of branch the story and kind of create something like fan fiction, and then obviously the other thing I mentioned was customer reviews and doing sentiment analysis on that, or like Twitter feeds or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what does the
Good
politics
initiative. Yep.
think about it? Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Prem, thank you. Ali, can go next, please?
Hey Palash, nice presentation.
Thank you.
And I've been through this in past. I recovered So my question is regarding similar to this. The mental health problems have a unique responsibility, right? If someone writes a story during a crisis and later recovers and wants it gone, what's the deletion part? Because if it's on chain as an NFT, immutable, and right to be forgotten are fundamentally at odds, right? So how do you solve this problem?
Um, that's an interesting point. Uh, yes, it is on chain, and the like a right to be forgotten is not really feasible until you have like a internal destructive thing,
Yeah,
which is very possible via like the network design, right? But the question is whether that should be a thing, because if we really think about it, like where we are on day n plus one is because we were there on day n. And is it right to forget day n when you are at n plus one? Like whatever your experiences have made you. So it is somewhat kind of like, let's not hide if we are going in like the whole mental health and like therapist domain. Uh, let's not run away from like our experiences or our past, and let's not deflect. Let's address it. Let's see it. Let's uh, incorporate lessons and grow and move on. So
yeah, but that
then
would
the
be
question really
from
is like,
person to person, right? Yeah,
yes, but there is also like it is also like a generalizable thing, right? Like there is no growth without acceptance, and if there is acceptance, there is no real need for right to forget.
yeah. So my next question is regarding the wallet clustering, right?
Okay?
So even with docs resistant personas, right? On-chain behavior leaves traces, right? If
Yep.
I write 50 stories from one wallet and read from another, but always read my own stuff first, and that creates a pattern, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what are you doing to prevent wallet clustering? Like, do you do kind of an analysis that could link pseudonymous identities to avoid that?
So there's a few approaches you can take here. One is I think there's a Ethereum improvement proposal for stealth addresses, which can be used. There's also cycling of addresses, and then at its end, it's also like you delink, right? So sure, this address is so such and such, but you don't know who this address is, right?
Yeah.
So one of the problems with today's customer or user profiling is that all data is shared between all the companies with data brokers and stuff. But blockchain, you can have strong guarantees to kind of prevent all of that. And of course, everything's going to be open source, so I also
Yeah.
cannot tell people. Not
Yeah.
that I want, but yeah.
Yeah. But excellent presentation, and looking forward to use it in 2026.
Yeah,
Good luck.
sign up on the thing. I'm going to
Yeah.
increase
Good luck.
my wait list.
Thank you.
Perfect, guys. Thank you. Santosh, would you have a question? I don't know if you would be able to get the presentation from Palash.
Yes, Peter. I joined in the middle,
Perfect.
so I didn't,
Perfect.
get the entire presentation. But I saw Paula's like last time you presented Dash Monkey, and this time with this one, so I really like your ways of like ideas. So you're coming up with new ideas and new things. So all the best for that.
Thank you. Just one thing, if you've seen Dash Monkey,
Yeah.
there is another part. I don't know, did you see Dash Monkey in November or December?
I think I saw in the November. So
Okay.
and
So,
I saw you presented for
all right,
the.
but there is like a part of it where these two, because it's on chain and interoperable, you kind of combine both of these two, and then this becomes like a journaling tool.
Oh.
And while this becomes a journaling tool, the monkey also, while knowing your lifestyle habits and like your financial habits, it also
Mhm.
knows your mental state, and it can provide you better insights and provide you better
Oh,
access to like, oh, I see why you are buying so much liquor, or I
yeah.
see why you're ordering so much food.
Got it. So you are planning to integrate both the things together
Of
there?
course, yes, yes.
Yeah, awesome. That's
And
great.
before you ask, like privacy preserving, like I'm going to be doing it like all local, probably sell NASs and
Mm-hmm.
get money that way. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. All the best. So hoping to see the results. Yeah.
Okay. I guess everyone has a opportunity to do their questions. Palas, thank you so much for your presentation here today with us.
One last thing, if anyone wants to connect, I am dropping my Twitter in the studio chat, so feel free to, um, you know, DM me.
Yeah.
And
Actually, if any of the judges want to connect to from the pictures, you can ask me or Augusto in the email, so we can send the email so you guys can exchange more information and more insights about the project. So, Palash, thank you for being here. I feel like this is your third time here.
thank
It's
you for having me.
very good to see a great mind. Of course, have a lot of ideas here with us. So, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the year. Enjoy the
Yeah,
parties,
you
and
too.
see you again next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Palash. Thank you. Bye bye.